Alright, check this out. I figured talking about this specific game was a bit of a special occasion, so I went out and finally bought the appropriate hat. I didn't have the right hat last time, and I still feel a bit bad about that. So this one supposedly gets the job done. There's one issue though, no matter how much I adjust it, it's a little too small, as far as it goes. I was this close. So yes, today we are finally talking about PokePark 2. Now a few years ago I talked about the first game, PokePark Wii, Pikachu's Adventure. A lot of you guys liked that, and ever since then, I've gained the impression that a few of you have wanted me to talk about the sequel. Just a few, just a couple of you. Just a dozen or so. It's a couple dozen, so about 100, couple hundred. The comments never stopped. I had no idea there was this much interest in PokePark 2. I know people like Pokemon, you know, that much is obvious, but the sequel to a spin-off like this? I'll admit I didn't see it coming. I'll also admit that I was wrong in the assumption that no one cared. You guys have made it very loud and clear that you want me to play this game, and it's been enough time now. I'll oblige. Let's see what the fuss is all about with PokePark 2. Wonders Beyond. Do you get it? It's WB because white and black was relevant at the time? Oh, you thought you can get away with your quirky little naming scheme, but no, I saw it a mile away. Nice try. The story begins in the pits of hell. Didn't see that coming. Here we have the legendary Pokemon Reshiram and Zekrom telling of a forthcoming disaster that is going to destroy the world, but a lone light nearby may be able to rid the darkness. That's a pretty dark plot for a Pokemon game, I'll admit. I'm more so questioning how these two are communicating when they are very clearly so far away. Does that power come from being a legendary? I need to know. On a lighter note, Pikachu and Piplup from the first adventure are off to PokePark to play once again. Not before a quick game of chase first. Ha! Piplup, you suck! When they arrive, they overhear some other Pokemon hyping up this new spot, Wish Park. And they apparently have cake! Oh boy, sign me up. They even got this little seed shooting carnival game there. This place can't be that bad. This place is pretty bad. It turns out there are these other evil Pokemon in Wish Park hypnotizing the peaceful Pokemon to have them live there forever, leaving the PokePark void of any residents. Before our heroes become the next victims, they, along with new friend in tow, Oshawott, attempt to escape. Pretty intense too, they run for quite a while and they're doing a pretty good job of it. Well, aside from Piplup. He was too slow, so he sacrifices himself for his friends. You see, this is a bit of character development, actually. They established early on that Piplup was slow, and then it played effect into the story not that long after. That's good storytelling. From there, the adventure is set. You go on a journey, make as many new friends as possible along the way, cause that matters in this game, I'll get to that in a bit, and stop Wish Park before it's too late. Making some buddies to stop a world-ending disaster. Sure, I'll accept it. That is basically the same as how the first game worked. Friendship truly conquers all. And I feel disgusting saying something so lame. At this point, you kinda just run around to wherever the map points you to, talk to any new Pokemon that you find along the way, usually fulfill their little task they ask you to do, and you just keep doing that until the credits roll. And on this quest, you explore a different set of parks than last time. There's a sunny beach side sitting next to a populated city, a cozy little grassland surrounded by pure nature, a rocky mountain that's dry on one side, cold on the other, and a train station that hides a science lab deep underneath. And if anything, once again, this is where PokePark shines. Being able to play as an individual Pokemon in a full 3D world, getting to interact with other Pokemon who are just living their normal lives, that's pretty cool, and I wish a lot more spin-offs in this franchise did something like that. The thing is though, the rest of the game? It's not as cool. The big difference this time around is the addition of 3 new playable Pokemon. Throughout the adventure you make friends with Oshawott, Snivy, and Tepig, the Gen 5 starters. Am I the only one that misses the fan-made name Smugleaf? Anyway, they each have their own set of abilities to help out with traversal and puzzle solving, like swimming, jumping higher, and bashing rocks. While some special items keep themselves in positions that require these characters, it really doesn't make the game feel any different. You can swap between any of these characters on the fly, but the goal to make as many friends as possible, that remains the same. And speaking of being the same, the friend-making process is actually a damn near copy and paste job from the previous game. The different tasks that the Pokemon ask you to do to become friends with them run the gambit of chasing them, partaking in a quiz, the occasional game of hide and seek, maybe even a bit of a platforming challenge from time to time, and naturally, some battling. So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. There is the element of type weaknesses this time around since you have 4 different Pokemon to choose, but the game is so easy and the battles are so button mashy that ultimately it kinda doesn't matter. There's sometimes a side-scrolling section here and there, that's pretty different. Some of the items that you collect, they're not from the first game, so that's kinda different as well. Sometimes you're requested to carry something, and it's thrilling. You see, this is how the first game works too, but at least there, we kept working towards those minigames where the friends that you make along the way were able to make an impact in your performance in said games. If you wanted to get the highest score possible, you couldn't do it with Pikachu, you had to get someone bigger and stronger. Here though, they goofed up pretty bad. So each segment of the map includes a portal to Wish Park, only accessible by befriending enough Pokemon. When they choose to go there, your new friends proceed to give Pikachu all of their energy, and with the power of the Spirit Bomb, the gang then enters the park. I know the joke here is that friendship is powerful and transcends all evil and whatnot, but this is ridiculous. Ouch! I was just trying to be cool. Come on, you know that feeling, right? Wow, sounds like he has a YouTube channel. Could you be a meanie? Hey, is that the correct answer? Yo, Duosion is savage. I have an idea. I'll take it to my secret place sometime. Oh no. No. Once we make it back to Wish Park, we learn of the ones behind the evil plans. It's Gothorita, Gothita, and Gothitelle, the entire evolutionary line, under the command of Darkrai, and alongside them, other spooky looking Pokemon. And well, they can't have you stopping them in their plans, of course. Thankfully, each of them, in order to stop you, has a fun and quirky minigame that should get the job done. That was sarcasm. These minigames are a much bigger deal this time around. They're what's in between you and this bell that unalienates the Pokemon in that section of the park. Also, because there's only 4 of them in the entire game, whereas the previous one had 14. How did they make such a dumb mistake? Listen, say what you will about the Wii having minigame collections out the wazoo, but in PokePark 1, that was the only part that truly felt like an actual game, and not a friendship-making simulator. To massively reduce that, on top of eliminating your newly acquired friends as participants, you can only use the main characters now, while keeping the bulk of the rest of the game the same? I'm sorry, that makes this an objectively lesser game in my opinion. The story's fine, and I enjoy Pokemon enough to where interacting with a bunch of them from Generation 5, my favorite gen by the way, kept me through to the end, but I just couldn't help but feel let down here. It's a game about making friends, and the most interaction you have with them is beating them up. Thankfully though, Croagunk returns, so it's not all bad. Eventually, the gang finds a mind-controlled Piplup in Wish Park, and after a battle with it to try to set its mind straight, Darkrai causes your new friends to suffer amnesia. They all get sent back to PokePark, and everything is all grayscale all of a sudden, and Pikachu is far too sad for a game like this. Wow. Oh god, and it's raining too. Oh, of course it is. Man, this got depressing real quick. But it's okay, Piplup is actually totally fine, and thanks to his motivation, you run into your other friends and get them back on your side. You all travel back into Wish Park to encounter Darkrai. 2 button-mashing battles later, Darkrai is finished, and is surprised at how powerful all of their friendship is. That is very cheesy. During this, a dark vortex has popped up into the sky and is slowly growing. And in an attempt to stop this, all 4 main Pokemon simply have to ring a bell at the same time, and that should work. And of course shenanigans happens, but before disaster totally strikes once again, Darkrai actually sacrifices himself with this special light orb that he got. Naturally though, we can't leave any potential friend left behind. We find out that we can save him through the power of Reshiram and Zekrom and the 3 nature legendaries, Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus. After the game concludes the first time, another segment of gameplay that takes up like another hour or 2 of time, clearly in an effort to just pad the game out longer, which, you know, that's neat, ends with Pikachu then battling the 2 major legendaries in question. And once they are defeated, they accept that Pikachu is doing the right thing. They use their combined power to bring back Darkrai! Oh, and the credits? Okay, I assume we saved Darkrai. I didn't edit that. The credits pop up that quick. Oh, phew. Okay, the post-credits show that we did in fact save Darkrai. Phew! That's a relief? The story is surprisingly a mouthful, but to be fair, that's really all this game has. So going into it, I really didn't think it was going to be that different than the first game. The first adventure seemed like a bit of a minigame collection that had this explorable world there to glue everything together. Here in the sequel though, it emphasizes the whole friend gathering aspect of the first game, but it just kinda has minigames there because the first one had it, so we may as well. Now personally, I did prefer the first game more. Since the second one boils down to really just being more of the same with less minigames and more playable characters, it kinda feels like they tried to complicate the core experience just for the sake of it without really focusing on the fun. Now don't get me wrong here, now that I've covered both games in this illustrious side series, I can easily confirm that now both of these games really aren't that good. There is some enjoyment in the simple act of exploring a Pokemon-filled world, but there's just not much game here. There is an element of, alright, let me just get one more friend and then I'll stop, since there are so many Pokemon to befriend, and if that does sound interesting, they may be worth checking out. And if you do so, congratulations, you're one of the select few in the entire planet who's gone through the effort of playing both games. At least the sequel laid off the political propaganda. That was a bit much last time. But here's the thing though, not many other people seem to talk about these games anyway, so I don't really know what the general consensus is on which of the two is considered better, but I can tell you this much, even though I didn't love these games, or like them for that matter, I'm still glad I got to play them. The Pokemon franchise is vast. There are so many games out there that are not the typical core RPGs that we see on handhelds, so any chance I get to tick a couple of those off my checklist, that's time well spent in my book. Now I can tell you this much, next time, I say we get a Switch sequel to Pokemon Dash. That'll set the world on fire.